kids, welcome to my channel Kahani Didi. Children, living near a forest can lead to many adventures, and after listening to this story, you all will know what kind of adventures can be by living near the forest. Today I am going to tell you a story of a lion, the cunning lion. So let's start the story. Bela lived in a tiny village which was surrounded by a thick forest. One day, a handsome young stranger arrived in her village. He said his name was Abhishek. He brought with him a basket of rare, delicious fruits. He distributed these fruits to everyone in the village, saying he had picked them while walking in the forest. The simple villagers took the fruits. Everyone liked this good-looking, generous man, especially Bela. Many young men had already asked for her hand in marriage, but Bela had rejected all the suitors. But this man was different. He walked and talked differently, almost like a king. Abhishek too noticed the pretty village girl and asked if she would marry him. Everyone thought it was a wonderful idea, and the wedding was fixed for a few days later. In the meanwhile, Abhishek would often disappear into the forest and return with more fruits and flowers. The villagers sat and discussed this one day. These fruits are not to be found easily, an old man told the youngsters gathered around him. They grow only in the remotest corners of the forest, which even people like us who have lived here all our lives have not been able to bring back. Abhishek is an extraordinary person and Bela is lucky to be marrying him. Bela was among the young people gathered around and heard these words. It set her thinking, how did Abhishek come and go from the farthest corners of the forest so easily? She decided to follow him and find out for herself. That night, when the entire village was lying under its quilts and gently snoring, Bela stayed awake. Close to midnight, she spotted Abhishek making his way stealthily into the forest. She wrapped a dark shawl around her shoulders and hid and followed him at a safe distance. On and on Abhishek walked, padding between the trees and bushes, as if he could see clearly in the dark. Bela stumbled a bit behind him, but kept up. After all, she had grown up among these trees. Finally, Abhishek stopped in a little clearing. Then, to Bela's horror, he took a quick look around, muttered something under his breath, and in an instant turned into a snarling, majestic lion. He gave a mighty roar that brought all the other animals of the forest scurrying into the clearing. Abhishek the lion then spoke in a human voice. Gather now, my animals, bring to me the best and most delicious fruits from all parts of the forest. Bring me the sweetest mangoes, the tartest gooseberries, the plumpest wood apples. Bring me beautiful flowers and honey that is like nectar. Now go, hurry! The tigers, bears, monkeys, squirrels, and all the other animals scampered off to do as they were told. Only a huge grey elephant stood quietly waving his trunk, something to the lion, which Bela could not understand. But then the lion replied in his human voice, and what he said made Bela's hair stand on end. You ask why I am doing this, my elephant minister? So that the people of this village too become my slaves, like the animals of this forest. Once I marry that foolish, proud girl, I will show them my true colors. They will provide me the best meat, do whatever I say. We will be able to eat humans whenever we want. Bela did not stop to hear or see any more. She turned and ran back as fast as she could. The next morning she found Abhishek sitting in the middle of the village, surrounded by the old and young alike, distributing his gifts. Where earlier she would have admired his golden brown complexion, his strong arms, and royal bearing, now she could only see signs of his animal nature. Shivering, she went and told her father everything. At first, he did not believe her. "It was just a bad dream, my child," he said, trying to calm her down. But when she insisted she had seen everything with her own eyes, he started to believe her. His daughter was brave and sensible and would never try to make him believe such a strange story for no reason. They went to Bela's uncle and told him the story. Together they came up with a plan to get rid of the impostor lion forever. Bela's uncle used to be a wrestler and was large and hefty with a deep, gruff voice. That night, Bela got 4 big black blankets and 2 long sticks. Then she made her father sit on her uncle's shoulders, and she climbed up on her father's shoulders. She wrapped the blankets tightly around them all. She took the 2 sticks and placed them on 2 sides of her head. Now they looked like a large black monster with 2 huge horns sticking out of its head. They made their way to Abhishek's hut. They stood outside and shouted out in 3 different voices, "You lion, come out!" Abhishek was preparing to go into the forest and was shocked to hear a terrifying voice address him as lion. He peeped out. In the light of the half moon, he saw a big black creature with 2 horns standing at his door. He was scared. "Who are you?" he asked in a shaky voice. "I am the guardian monster of this village. Many years ago, the villagers had helped me, and I had promised I would come to their rescue if ever they needed my help. I have heard from the jungle grapevine that you have your eyes on this village. Beware, you will have to first fight me before you can lay a hand on even on villagers' hair." Abhishek the lion backed into his hut in fret. A monster as guardian? Why, he had never heard of this. Just then the pretend monster took a step forward and lurched towards him. Bela's uncle let out his finest, loudest roar. That was enough. The lion impostor took to his heels and fled into the forest. He ran and ran till he reached his den. Life in the jungle was so much safer than the village, he thought, panting. Never again would he even dare to step that way. Meanwhile, in the village, Bela, her father, and her uncle threw off the blankets and sticks and did a dance of joy. The next morning, everyone wondered what had happened to Abhishek and came to console Bela because they thought her fiancé had run away. Bela listened to all of them and smiled secretly to herself. She had got the better of that cunning lion. So you see, children, we should not trust anyone too soon. Otherwise, we can get into big trouble. So kids, how did you like the story? Children, if you liked the story, then definitely share it with your friends and family, and do not forget to subscribe my channel Kahani Didi for such lovely stories. That's all for now. Take care. Bye bye kids.